Law enforcement officers all over the tri-state are mourning tonight after one of their own is killed on the job. Roy Sims was killed while working a funeral detail in Montgomery. He was struck by a hearse, and 9 News reporter Tom McKee was first on the scene at noon at Gate of Heaven where that accident happened.
He is live there now to begin our team coverage into what happened. Tom?
Well, good evening, Julie. We've all seen them, of course, these motorcycles providing traffic protection to funeral processions. This morning, Officer Sims was providing that service for the Hodap Funeral Home at the entrance to the Gate of Heaven Cemetery when this accident occurred. Now, this was the scene at that cemetery entrance around 11:30. Officer Sims' motorcycle on its side. Investigators say it collided with the Hodap Funeral Home hearse. The driver of that hearse telling me that the motorcycle hit his vehicle.
Our understanding is that the escort officer had just cleared the intersection at 275 and Montgomery Road and was accelerating up the right-hand side of the roadway in an attempt to get in front of the procession. And as he was attempting to get into the front of the procession, the driver of the hearse was turning into the first drive of the cemetery where the collision happened.
Officer Sims was rushed to Bethesda North Hospital where he later died. He was going to be flown to by air care to University Hospital, but his condition was too critical at that particular time. Accident reconstructionists from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office are doing measurements and conducting interviews for their final accident investigation. And Julie, what I can tell you is the Hodap Funeral Home has not responded to calls for comment, but I did talk to the driver personally, and he said he's very, very shaken. He wouldn't give his name, but it was obvious. It was very emotional for him on this traumatic and tragic accident.
You can just imagine how he feels. Tom McKee live from Montgomery tonight. The loss of Officer Sims is being felt hard at Northern Kentucky University. He was a campus officer there for the past 2 years. 9 News reporter Bryce Onslinger is live at Highland Heights with more on the life lived by Sims.
Well, Julie, Sims would often be seen here at NKU riding his bicycle as he patrolled the campus. Officers here say he loved talking to the students at this university. Sims lived in Fort Wright, Kentucky with his wife and twin sons. Sims also leaves behind 2 older sons from a previous marriage. He started his law enforcement career with the Covington Police Department in 1988. He worked there 20 years before retiring in 2008. NKU Police Chief Jason Willis says Sims was a real leader for some of his younger officers. Sims spent most of his time away from work, taking his young boys swimming and also hanging out with friends.
Our officers, they travel together, they go on vacations together, they play golf together, and they've lost more than a fellow officer here. They've lost a family member and a friend.
And while with the Covington Police Department, Sims was also a canine handler. He was also an Army veteran. Julie and Brendan.
Bryce Onslinger live in Highland Heights tonight. NKU President James Votruba released a statement about Officer Sims' death, saying the university community was shocked and saddened at the news of Officer Sims' accident in Montgomery. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends in this difficult time.